Want my love, baby, earn it. Yeah, dancing on my own. See if you can follow. Got me feeling alive. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. I want. Hear me now. I do what I want. Are you ready now? 'Cause it won't be easy. Only get what you work for. Gotta go all out. Whenever you see me, don't be wasting my time. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. I want. Hear me now. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. I do what I want.
Good morning. What's new, pussycat?
Thought that you should know I've been going solo. Want my love, baby, earn it. Yeah, dancing on my own. See if you can follow. Got me feeling alive. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. I want. Hear me now. I do what I want. Are you ready now? 'Cause it won't be easy. Only get what you work for. Gotta go all out. Whenever you see me, don't be wasting my time. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. I want. Hear me now. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. I do what I want.
Good morning. What's new, pussycat?
Good afternoon. Happy Halloween. How the hell are you? I am fabulous. Thank you. What do we think? I've had this in a box in my closet for, I've just been waiting. And here I thought I was going to have to wait for, the Kentucky Derby or something equally as fabulous. And since I didn't originally plan on being here today, as I often do, I confused 2 days. I crossed the events of each day. I had the two events correct. I just did not have the days correct. And fortunately, I checked last night. So what I thought I had to do today, I have to do tomorrow. So if if I thought I was going to have been here on Halloween, I would have saved the headpiece from yesterday. Well, I would have worn that today, but I thought, you know what? I've got I've got something fabulous. And yes, this is a fascinator. I am wearing it on a headband, but it's there's a big clip on the bottom of this, and you don't have to wear the headband. You could, if you just want to, it's on like bad self tanning accident. Oh, good lord. At any rate, it's a clip like that long, and if you can just have this part clipped in your hair, like if you wanted to wear it towards the back. So this is my Halloween. I'm going as Victoria Beckham for her, older, not as pretty version. But this is a lot of when anything happens with the royals, whether it's weddings, funerals, um, anything in between. This is the one part of being a Brit that I it could seriously have me considering at least dual citizenship, because see, people run around like this. Hats, they're just into hats and fascinators, and they're just extra when it comes to special events, and even some not so special. So if I could wear something like this every day of the week, just because it's that particular day, oh, I would do so. So we actually have a Halloween birthday in my family too. So that's always makes it wow. I mean, at this point, that person has been blessed to have many, many happy returns on many Halloweens. So, but it's we usually do a Halloween / birthday party. Oh, well, what page are we on here? I'm going to say hi to the kids in class. And then, before I forget, please notice the banner that is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. That is the PayPal link for Queen Bee's legal defense. Hold on 1 minute, because she sent me a text. Or actually, I can, you know what? Let me just, she texted me the link when I asked her for it, and then I opened it up and texted it. I'm sorry, I emailed it to myself. Oh, okay. I'm not going to be able to share that part because her real name is on there. Oh yeah, no. I'm just going to read it to you, okay? Because there is lots of real names on there. So, if you click this link, this is what you're going to see. Legal fund and countersuit. This PayPal link ends in 18 days. 60% of the goal, which is $5,000, and I think that will take that will take her through, oh, that's in my text. But it doesn't matter at the moment. So 60% of the goal of $5,000 has been reached. It's got 18 more days to go. Listen, I'm sure that. Oh, okay. Thank you. The link is being copied and put in the chat as well. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. But I'll just read you the little abstract. Raising funds for legal fees and countersuit as Andrew Griffin added 100 pages to her already frivolous lawsuit when she was ordered to amend it. I'm a single mother, so anything helps as it's close to the holidays. Thank you to those who have shown love and donated. I appreciate it more than you know. The Hive is amazing. And I know that everybody has been amazing. This entire thing has been crowdfunded, and fuck you, buddy. Yeah. See, because people love and support Queen Bee. And you know what? I have a funny feeling that even if, maybe she's not their favorite person in the world, much in the same vein as when someone wished death upon me because I took a little picture of a cartoon wrench away from them. I have to tell you, I was quite blown away by the support. And even people who don't care for me were still very, very kind when I saw them in chats and saying, I'm really sorry that is so vile. So I really believe that it's probably very much the same case when it comes to this legal fund. I would not be at all surprised if people had actually donated to that who maybe don't necessarily love Queen Bee, or even like her, but well, they, the chance to shove it up Andrew Griffin's ass and yeah, that's Bullhorn Betty. Sorry. I have redacted that wretched bitch, her name, in all of this, despite the fact that she has told all of the internet, basically everything but her social security number, and she probably did that too, and I just missed it. But I have still, what I have done for Queen Bee and anyone else named in this, I have always redacted her name and referred to her as BHB. However, when I read it off of the PayPal thing, it was stuck in my mind. So apologies for that. Yeah, as if she would give me the same consideration. So I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. But yeah, I think that because she is so just really not cared for by so very many people that really want to see her get her comeuppance. I think it's, I don't think it's a bridge too far to say that a lot of people probably are wanting to see her get what's been coming to her for a very long time. She's been incredibly abusive to many people. Not, well, I only know about the ones on the internet, but clearly, as her criminal history shows, it's not just people on the internet. So I think that, once you've built a resume such as hers, well, just because people don't speak on it or let you know that, they have their own feelings on it, that doesn't mean that when given the chance, they're not gonna, just help do their part to, there's an expression, it only partially applies to her. I want you to think of this as at least the beginning part of this adage. Well, only in her mind. But, and that is, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. In her case, I think I'd say something more along the lines of the meaner, the dumber, the more delusional appearing they are, the harder they fall. So I think I think it's safe to say that there's, and there was another little adage I thought I was going to use, but yeah, I think I'll hold off on that. So yeah, and everybody so much loves a train wreck on here. So, you know, so I have two ideas on that front. No, not on trying to fix Betty's train wreck. Hell no. No. The only people that are qualified to do that would be Betty herself. And I don't know, professionals who probably charge upwards of, $300 an hour. And I don't mean a lawyer. So I was kind of throwing some ideas around with Queen Bee. And honestly, y'all, listen, it's true. The holidays are coming, and times are tight for people. So I went to the grocery store yesterday. I swear to God, 4 bags of like nothing. I think I got like a half a pound of turkey, like boar's head lunch meat turkey, bread. I got some Rice Krispie treat bars, buy one get one free. That's the only reason I bought them. Just 2 bags of cat food, and honestly, just a couple other little tiny things, not meals. And it was like, I don't know, $78. So I was thinking, I would love to. I know that we cannot, you can't sell things here on YouTube or auction things or raffle things. But I have actually had people reach out to me in the past about, wanting to know, do you ever sell any of your things? And if so, where? And, how do I find it? I've never gone anywhere with that on here. Not like I've never discussed anything like that, but suffice it to say that I definitely know how to do that. And I'm going to be cleaning out. In fact, that's coming tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or Thursday. And I would love to be able to see things that I need to get out of my life. Go to someone else's life who would give them a good new home. So I don't know if she's interested in that or not. But it was an idea. So there's that. And then I thought, here's another thing I came up with, like probably 10 minutes before I walked in here. And please, y'all, I have not discussed these things with her. So this is coming from Lisa only. This has nothing. Queen Bee has not green lighted any of this. This is just me thinking out loud. So the other was, I'm old. And one of the things I remember so fondly from my childhood, especially the summers, was the Jerry Lewis Labor Day Telethon. It started, I think it started on Friday morning on Labor Day weekend. All the proceeds went to benefit muscular dystrophy. And, this was before the internet. You would have banks of phones they would stay live until Sunday at like, I think 5 or 6 o'clock. All these celebrities would come and do, they'd sing, they'd dance, they'd do whatever they do. Sometimes they'd actually sit on the phone banks. And Jerry Lewis would honestly stay up for days. And, I don't know how he did that, but this was so far back, you guys, that these were the days when he could stand at the microphone holding what was probably scotch on the rocks and puffing cigarettes through the whole thing. But I thought, you know what? What if I did something like do a live and, well, I stay live until the cash register stops ringing? Within reason, okay? But I mean, y'all know I'm usually, when I leave here, you might see me in chats later on in the early evening, but if y'all see me out at night, well, you know some major shit's popped off. Because I'm watching last night I was watching Boardwalk Empire, which I love. Oh my God. That is such a fabulous show. And I saw the whole series years ago. That's how I am. If I can't find anything current that looks like it's worth my time that I want to watch, I will go back and watch something that I loved the first time. But I'm trying to think. It's been at least a decade since I watched all of Boardwalk Empire. And the latter seasons, it's almost like it's new to me. Not the whole storyline, but definitely certain characters will come on and I'm like, oh God, I forgot about him. So, we could do something like that. Who knows? But here's what I in a perfect world, for me, the best scenario, the best possible resolution is for this pile of shit with the additional pages we've already been through, just not added on here. This pile of shit we're gonna burn in my burn pit whenever we can finally do it, and I don't have to worry about killing another acre of the rainforest. So this pile of shit, which, trust me, this is a fucking joke right here. Betty, this was a waste of the girl. You, in my opinion, you don't have any IQ points to spare, and you definitely seem to have given up a few in pursuit of this abomination. So this goes bye-bye, and she gets drug for Phil for her. We will finally get the real life, well, the opinion from a real legal professional, the judge, telling her what we all know. You're a clown. You're a fucking baby. This is a temper tantrum. If you can't handle people talking shit about you on the internet, well, you got a couple choices. You can either get the hell off the internet, or you could, I don't know, try and just, modify your behavior a little bit. Just take your like ratchet, skanky, gross, like she's like a fucking, like an angry badger or a mongoose or something. You could just perhaps work on a little bit of your image management. Rather than, doing this complete bitch move, which is all this is. What she lacks in legal skills, she thinks she's going to make up for with volumes of paper. So we all know what she's doing. She is very purposely doing this because, listen, you got to use what you got, okay? And what she's got is a bullhorn, a lanyard, and a lack of class. And she lacks the ability to be embarrassed, apparently. Well, I don't know, because she wants to try and assert something to the contrary in here. But, when you don't ever do anything to mitigate others' negative opinions of you based on nothing more than your own behavior, well, I mean, that's a you problem, not an us problem. So I want to see this. Not only do I want to see it all thrown out, I want to see her shown for the clown that she is. And to me, if it was me, even more importantly, and this is me speaking, not Queen Bee, because I don't even know what they are, what it would take to put an end to it. But if it was me, not only do I want this dismissed, laughed out of court, but, I'll settle for dismissed because courts aren't going to, real legal professionals do not behave like Betty. So after this goes bye-bye, well, what I really do not want to see happen is all of the money that has been spent to make this, to defend Queen Bee in this frivolous bullshit, make this go away. I want to see her have to pay for this folly. I want to see, and I don't even know if they're asking, but if it was me, I would want to be reimbursed for every nickel that had to be spent defending this and the countersuit, because let's not forget, that's not the extent of it. It's not just, we want this, obviously this needs to go away. We need the judgment in favor of our client, Queen Bee. We need that wretched, hot-ass, vindictive, petty, spiteful, immature, see you next Tuesday. We need her to pay for clogging up the court's time, for all of the actual layout of money. And let's not forget, she is the one who did the actual defamation, because she lied when she said that Queen Bee, that any of her charges had anything to do with minor children. That is absolute unmitigated bullshit. And if it were me, that is what she needs to. She needs to break out her checkbook and stroke a check for that, because that, there's a lot of things that we all say about Betty that are opinions, but I would never be so bold as to say, no, cut and dry, nobody in the world could think that was worthy of X, Y, and Z. I don't do shit like that because I'm not a judge, I'm not a lawyer, but I do have common sense. But when you have said something that is actually provable and actionable, she needs to cut. She started this party. Queen Bee was never coming. Do you know how long it took? Or how long it was before she had to defend herself? The countersuit? I'd have done the same damn thing. Are you kidding me? You wretched bitch. You are going to sue me for all of the whatever. I don't even know what 75% of this shit is in here for. Honest to God. When she said those vile things about Queen Bee, when she showed pictures of someone's children, I don't know if they were hers, but they were definitely part of her family, was my understanding. She didn't go, unlike this bitch, she didn't go run out and start a lawsuit. But like any normal person, when Betty started this party, well, who the hell wouldn't say, well, my God, if I've got to go through this and you're going to waste my time, money of Queen Bee, of all of us who donated and who are going to keep on donating. Why wouldn't she? She'd be a fool not to. So I know that it's a big ask. It is. I think everyone fully appreciates that. But I truly, I would urge you to just if you have not already, put yourself in her shoes. I don't know how many children she's got at home, but I know it's more than one. And I know they're minors and they're dependent on her for all the things that parents need to do and want to do for their children. And it is the holidays. And then on top of all of that, as if that is not stressful enough, you've got some just, Betty, you're just a bag of shit. You are an absolute shit bag. You've got this shit bag who can't, she just can't let anything go. She can't turn the cheek. She's just, she sits in her office in her little plastic gamer chair and talks about, I just want to be left alone to do my true crime. Bitch, please. You are so full of shit. So if you are so inclined and you can give so much as $1, it all adds up. And dollars make hundreds of dollars, and hundreds of dollars make thousands of dollars. And I guess all I'm saying is, y'all, this is a process. And if you don't have any, hopefully you've never had to, defend yourself in a civil action, or anything really. If you haven't had experience with having to pay a lawyer, I mean, I couldn't even venture a guess as to what because I'm not sure about, where she lives and what the going rate for a lawyer of this caliber to defend a case of this kind. I don't know what the hourly is, but my God, if I had to guess, if it was anything less than $300 an hour, that would be bargain. My guess is it's probably more along the lines of maybe between 4 and 5. And like I said, that's just a straight up guess. But if you've never had the misfortune of either having to be involved in a process like this or have any, real world work experience in any aspect of, the law. Well, it's one thing to hear words like, well, this is going to take a long time. Nothing moves quick in the courts, blah, blah, blah. And then you get some asshole who's doing this. Okay. Because let me tell you something, this right here, this is absurd. I'm pretty sure Purdue class action opiate lawsuit was probably less pages than this. And I'm not kidding. Okay. This is ridiculous, especially when, it's written by one who is only a legal professional in her own mind. But that's one of the only good things about this is, well, we finally get to really base that opinion on some actual work product. Well, some of it's our work product, I think, in my opinion, several parts of it are other people's work product, but we can definitely tell which. I know I can pick out which part I think is all Betty. So I think it's one thing when something like this starts, and it was made no secret that this was going to be very involved. It was going to take a long time. It was going to cost a lot of money. And that's all well and good. And of course, in the beginning, people are rah rah. But listen, this process is daunting and takes a long time, even when you have two real professionals who are not thinking that what they lack in intellect, they can make up for with inches of paper or, pages on the docket. This, very much by design. That is one thing I am quite confident of. She is her dimmer switch isn't so dim that she doesn't know that this is a strategy. Okay. So what else does she have? So if you were dealing with someone who does it, if you were dealing with someone who played fair, and because I can promise you this, there's not a lawyer alive that would produce this if dealing with if their adversary was another professional, which is usually how it's done. So all I'm trying to say is eye on the prize, and the prize is going to take a while to get there. This is not quick. It's going to take time. And every time there's a new dump. Oh, I think that's apropos. I mean, I hate to be gross like that because, look at me. Do I look like someone who uses the word dump unless it's related to a truck? But here I think it's appropriate. Hell, it's tame in terms of what I could use when referring to this. So I don't want to see all of this have been for naught. I mean, and I don't mean this getting dismissed, because I don't think it's unrealistic to expect that. But to me, it's the latter part where it definitely is not time to drop the ball. The ball needs to go all the way down the field into the end zone, and I mean, if we have to, we'll kick the extra point. But I'd prefer just a touchdown, and let's just be done with this. So there you go. There's the PayPal link, and I mean, I would be interested in hearing your feedback on any ideas, because I think people definitely do. Listen, I think people are going to continue to support her. I know I'm going to until the end. But I don't think it's a bad thing if you can give somebody something for their donation, because what I would do is, if I did decide to, I will not be doing anything unilaterally. But if that was something she was interested in, if it was something you all were interested in, the way it would work is, obviously I'm in possession of the items. I would put the items on whatever place I decide to put them. And the money would never touch my hands. It basically, all I would do is ship it out, and then I'm done. And it would be set up, because all this is done electronically. So the funds would never be in my hands at any time. So, but if y'all have any other ideas, I'm sure that, she'd be happy to hear them. I'm trying to think of things that, just to make it more fun. All right. Speaking of fun, I'm going to say hi to the kids in class running, and then we're going to get right in here. I'm 40 minutes in now. I'm going to try and just go very quick. What the hell's wrong with that hearing? Okay. I'm going to try and go very quick. Hey, voices, how are you? Hi, True Texan. Crazy nurse in the house. Follies. The hell? Hello? Oh my God, one of the cats is back behind. There's a dresser to my left, and apparently one of the cats is behind there knocking on. What do you want? Hey, Revival, how are you? SoFlo Mama. Hey, girl, how you doing? Oh, I miss those kids' Halloween parties. Oh my God, it's been decades. I still remember them. Oh, you're going to New Orleans? Where are you staying? Oh, I shouldn't ask you that. I'm sorry. You know where I stayed the last time I was in New Orleans? I stayed at the Lowe's, and it is across the street from Harrah's. So it's not down. They consider it bourbon, but it's not like down in the insanity. It's on the perimeter. It's quiet. And the rooms are gigantic, and they have a great bar in the lobby. So yeah, if anybody's going to New Orleans and they need a good, nice hotel, there's so many down there. When you go to a place like that where there's just it's such a tourist destination and there's tons of hotels, it's hard to know where to stay. But I was pleasantly surprised there. Hey, Pamela, how are you? Bama Beauty. I saw this before we started. You know what? The last time I was in Texas, all my exes live in Texas. It was a road trip, and it was me and several kids, mine and some of the neighbor kids. And we were all going to see another friend and neighbor from the past that had moved to Plano. So we were getting all the kids together for what actually was exactly what I thought it would be. The last time they were probably all together until everybody graduated. I don't even know if they were getting ready to go into high school. Close to that. And then, different states, they grow up, they go to different schools, they become adults, and that's that. And on the way home, the other person with me said, well, we can take this route, or we can go this way. And if we go this way, something came up about Memphis, and I said, wait a minute. I have always wanted to go to Graceland. We're going that way. And we did. And I'm telling you, even if you don't think you like Elvis, I didn't particularly care much about Elvis. It is so worth it. If you have the opportunity, do it. You don't just get to see the house. To me, the house was the least interesting. I mean, it was cool, but you get to the museums with the cars, the airplane, the costumes. Oh my God. Elvis was me, just taller and fatter, at least towards the end. Oh yeah, and I can't sing, as I've demonstrated at least one time. Did you guys like my thumbnail? Everybody was coming. Betty and her flash bomb. Yes, the Kung Fu Fighters. Oh, look at that, Kung Fu Fighters. I like that. SoFlo Mama. Now, why do you assume I don't have one of those? Y'all, I tried to do a video for this morning so you can see my pretty dress, but I didn't have time. Look at that. New Orleans. Go to, if you have time, do the Garden District and go see all the gorgeous homes. And you could go see Marie Laveau's grave. Yes. So, oh, look, the pin is still in its mouth. I've never actually used this until the other day. We were talking about Betty, and I took one of the pins and I put it right through this thing's mouth. Wouldn't that be nice if it worked that way? So I hope Bama G or Bama Beauty, I hope you guys have a great time. Hi, Gina. How are you? Gina F, that is. Hey, Green Goblin. Oh, Green Goblin. It's a busy day for you, huh? Hey, Mystified Me. How are you? Becca, Elaine, Zen. You guys doing anything fun? Is anybody going to a Halloween party? Voices, weren't you the first one in the door? Yes, you were. Voices is the door holder. Hey, Brianna, how you doing? Oh, now I'm so into the fascinator thing. I'm like, maybe I need a whole bunch more. They're really not that expensive. Honest to God, I think this thing was like 25 bucks on Amazon. And it is super, like, this is not flimsy. This is really, the quality is good. It comes in every color. You can get feathers. Oh yeah, the whole nine. I see more of these in my future. Hey, Heather B. Beachy, Little Boston. How are ya? Not to be confused with Boston Nick. Damn it. Come on, mouse. It's charged. I think I need this mat, I think it has some coffee on it. Not coffee like that, but there's something that's making it not cooperate. Hey, Runaway Truth. Oh, thank you. You know what? Pink, I have green eyes. And pink and purple really make green eyes pop, but pink more so. And it's just funny how different things look on camera than they do. Scam likely. Well, thank you for that, because there we go. God, I love that. Scam likely. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Hi, Deanna. Come on, come on. Here we go. Hey, Not So Dumb Blonde, how are you? Happy Halloween. Hey, Cocoa Puff. Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa. No, Lisa's not singing Jesus. I cannot sing. Ah! Got voices. I was actually thinking the same thing. Hey, Spudler. And that's the truth. I think yesterday was the first day Mike Stevens was not here in a while. I wonder if Betty brought the hammer down. I bet she did. Hi, Phyllis. Snow. Oh my God, that's wow. Oh, I heard voices talking the other day about how damn cold it was in Wyoming. It was like 8 degrees or something. Whoa. Yeah, it's the same temperature as Florida. Just put a 0 after the 8. That's too much. And I agree. It is easier to get warm than it is cool. That's my opinion. Hey, Nonsense, how you doing? Oh, I'm sure this is a big day at your house. Ooh, dark path. Hi, welcome. Come take a walk with us down a very dark path. I love that name. Hey, Striker Force, how are you? Twente. You know what? think about this, because I think this is something that people don't appreciate. You really don't appreciate this until you don't fully appreciate it until you find yourself in a position with, just something in your life, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's your real life, whatever it is, where you either can't or won't comment on something that you very much would like to, but that doing so could go against your best interests in the end. So, unlike asshole here, I don't, guys, I don't usually talk about this except, every other 30 seconds that I'm conscious. Yeah. I don't talk about this unless I'm mad at people, which, that's every moment I'm conscious. Has that bitch ever had a good day in her life? God almighty. I have to think no, because you couldn't have and be so damn miserable. But I mean, Queen Bee, I am quite sure on the advice of counsel, who would have said, say nothing, because it can only hurt you there. And that goes for anybody. That's not just her. That's why when you get arrested, if you get arrested, and what's on, it's why we have Miranda warnings. Anything you say can and will be used against you. And what smart people do is what she's doing. They don't say anything. They don't talk about it. Hell, and here's another thing I would encourage people to do. And this is just my 2 cents. You do what you want, and I'm sure most people are already doing this, but I would say that if you are at Queen Bee's in the chat, I would keep any kind of Betty chatter or commentary to an absolute minimum, because it just, that's what I do. I don't think I have even typed Betty BHB. I don't think I have typed any iteration of her name in that chat since all this started, because it's just, why do it? It's just better. It's just better to refrain. So imagine what it's like. I got a small taste last week of what it's like, on here to and I had the option to come and tell the truth. Not my truth, the truth. But I had no intention of speaking on a topic. Fortunately, when faced with, I think I need to, I was able to. If I had a lawsuit looming, and of course I'm going to follow the advice of counsel, I wouldn't have been able to say anything. It would have been, well, that's it. That's the story that's out there, and I have to stay silent on it. But she doesn't have that option. So there's that added piece to it, because nobody who is listening to this likes to be lied on. It is, I mean, at least for me, that's one of the hardest things on here to deal with. I don't give a damn. You can insult me up, down, sideways, 6 ways to Sunday. I don't give a shit, because I know who I am. So that kind of stuff, that comes with the territory. And if you can't handle that, like, oh, I don't know, Betty, well, then you can't be on here. And I'm talking when it's relatively on somewhat level playing fields. Okay. And by that, I mean, I'm not talking about a situation where you've got somebody with 1,500 subs and somebody with millions, and that's a different story. But a situation like this, or anything even similar, it's that is like the one thing I cannot abide, is knowing somebody is purposely lying about me. Now, I don't feel the need to set the record straight all the time, but if it's something that to me is serious, I will. She doesn't have that option. So there's only one party that gets to, not talk about it all the time. But thanks, because we've gotten some of our best rage streams, I think, from, hey, Julie, how are ya? Refresh. Okay, we're close. We're close. We're getting there. Hi, Amy M. How are you? It's insane, isn't it? And people wonder why we have an epidemic of obesity, not just adults, children as well. I mean, when all the processed frankenfood is, I'm not even going to say affordable anymore, but because that is not the case. But it is still much more affordable than spending $7 and almost 50 cents on a pint of blueberries. Thank you. All of that problem started with the government and farm subsidies. And I don't mean that the problem was with the farmers. The problem was with the government when they wanted to pay farmers more to produce corn syrup, to then put in every possible conceivable food. Yeah, there's a lot of very interesting documentaries on our food supply chain. I've seen most of them. Of course, do you think I can think of the one that came from off the top? Forks Over Knives, maybe? I don't know. It's one of the older ones, but and yes, in true Lisa fashion, just like when I watched when I was in the makeup community and I bought every product launch that came out in at least a 1 year period of time. I would watch these movies and I would decide I'm gonna stop eating all processed food, and I did do that for a while. But I had lots of little attempts here and there where I'd throw out all the processed things, and tried a lot of that stuff. Hey, Cheesy Wheezy, how are you? Kelly Golightly, I am not touching that. One bag, how much? 47? 54. Yeah, easily. You know what? I have the wholesale connection. I can get the shirts, and they're good. The quality's good. They're not that. It's not that Gildan or Jildan, however you pronounce it. I hate those. It's just I get a lot of mixed feedback on the that Cricut, the infusible ink. So, but yeah, I would love to, and I've got several. You know what? Several anthems. For the first limited edition T-shirt is gonna say YouTube. These hoes ain't loyal. Love Chris Brown. No, love Crimes and Fashion via Chris Brown. And the second one this was a direct quote I heard someone say, and I was like, oh man, I can't argue with that. And that is, it's very short and sweet and to the point, and it is, quote, YouTube, quote, I don't fuck with crazy, end quote. Well, I think sometimes, unfortunately, we do fuck with it, and we just don't realize until we didn't. Let's just say we didn't have all the information up front. Hi, Corrine. Oh, I love that name. That's so pretty. And I think that's a new name. Welcome. Hey, VK, sir. Oh, listen, you're not late. You know it always takes me an hour. Shit, I'm 1 hour and 1 minute in. Okay, I got to start running now. Hey, Brittany, how are you? Hi, blank screen. Oh, Brittany, trust me, that was a regular. I had so many of those types of messages that was a common thing. Maybe because the wind was coming out of the west at 4 degrees instead of 5. Yeah. Let's just say it was a go-to. Hey, Rowena. Listen to that. I all of a sudden started talking Southern when I saw your name. I love that accent. I wish I could do it. I can do a Southern accent, but not like Rowena's, because I'm Florida Southern. It's not the same thing. I don't know where I don't know where Rowena's from, but I know it's not Florida Southern. Hey, Quirky Carlotta, how are you? Gina Marie in the house. Truth hurts and karma's a bitch. Did I? Well, even if I did, hi, again, it bears repeating. Oh, it's so true. LC, hi. Thank you very much. I like this too. Sister wife? Who's got a sister wife? His sister wife, not. Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry. Can you imagine? When I would make my husband look at that when I used to watch Sister Wives, he would always say the following: yeah, I don't get that shit. I prefer to only disappoint one woman at a time. Hey, CC Jones, work. What's work? Somebody's got to do it. I'm sorry. Hey, KB, how are you? All right. Hi, Elsie. We're almost there. We're running. That means it's going to refresh. Hey, Queen Bella, how are you? Oh, getting your hair done. Oh, I love that day. I think I have to go next week. Once my hairdresser hits September, I book out October, November, and December before I leave September's, because hairdressers, that's their busiest time, the holidays. I'm like, Jesus, I should have my own designated parking space here with my name on it. It has been many, many decades. Hey, Cambry, how are you? All right. Hey, been dreaming, how are you? Been dreaming, I think. Okay, I see the link went down just a couple after your comment. Hey, Beth. Clancy, how the hell are you? Long time no see. I hope you're good. Hey, Amberly. And when I leave here, I will post a hey P Tim. I will post that by in my community post, just so that because I went to Burnt Toast to try and find it, but I looked through Burnt Toast community posts. I went to Queen Bee's as well. And it just so happened I texted her a little while ago saying, can you please give me that link, because I want to run it on a banner. And just not 5 minutes before I came in here, she sent it to me. So I'm glad we were able to get that up. And but I will put it in my community post as well, because I had a little trouble finding it, but I probably just didn't go back far enough. Rowena, I guess you haven't heard the word on the street about me. I am the Antichrist, okay? And don't you forget it. Don't be going around telling people that I'm not a bag of shit, okay? I like people who don't know me telling me about myself. I can't say that. I mean, I certainly do enough of that myself. So I need to walk that back. Sorry. That was. Hey, beer can, how you doing? Pecan pie, how are you? Okay, think we're there. Dang it. Glenda's going to New Orleans too? Damn, how come nobody invited me? Still hot in New Orleans this time of year, I think. I loved Graceland too. Let me tell you, I could have stayed. Oh my God, you get to go in his plane too. Fly in the friendly skies. Those guys were real friendly. You did not have to wait to take off to consume. Oh, I'm pretty sure whatever you wanted. They didn't pass out peanuts on that plane. And you could use the damn bathroom before you were airborne too. Screw you, FAA. Don't try to tell me what to do. Oh, I think I'm going to tell my husband that, honey, listen, I'm going to need a private plane if for no other reason that, if I do fly, I like to hit the cocktail lounge before I get on board. And, if I'm stuck waiting on the tarmac and they don't let me use the bathroom, well, that could be a problem. Hey, Melissa Bell. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Hey, Kathy P. How are you? Fairy Meadows. Skip to Malou. We're going to go skipping right on through this. Y'all, this is hilarious. I was started listening to Burnt Toast from last night, and I left her a comment and said, I would love to do a dramatic reading with you. I said, however, you need to know going in that I'm only averaging about a paragraph per 3-hour stream. So we are likely going to, by the time we're at the end, I mean, I will definitely be in an ACLF. Hey, GMA AF. I love that. Every time I see your name, it just makes me chuckle. Hey, Wine, Crime, and Mayhem. Hi, Glory. Hey, Jen. I will definitely be having some wine this evening. Hopefully no mayhem. Definitely no crime. My life of crime ended when I was 18. And I never looked back. Hey, Mama Bear, how are you? Come on, Mouse. Let's go. Get your shit together. Basic Brooke. I love that name too. You know what? I meant to tell this to Jones then. Because I tell you guys all the time, I'm out in the sticks. It's not as sticks as I make it sound, but it sticks enough that there's only mailboxes on one side of the street. And because when this area was first built, that's just the way it was done for the ease of the post office. And, everybody has a minimum of 2 acres out here. But the other day, as I was coming home, I drove by one of the neighbors, like on the, I think it would be like the northwest of me. And, you got to go kind of slow back here because there's lots of sandhill cranes and turtles. And we've talked about all that. So I was going slow enough that as I was approaching that neighbor's house, and I was like, what the hell is it? What are all those birds in their yard? And they're all like congregated. And they were not vultures or buzzards. And trust me, we get lots of those too. They were chickens. And she had, I kid you not, it was like a damn flock of pigeons. There was at a minimum 15 of them, and pretty ones. Like these were not basic chickens, or these were not like if Betty was a chicken. No, these were like, if I was a chicken, the silkies, just like if I was a rabbit, I'd be a French lop or an Angora. But it was just, lots of people have chickens around here. Next door to me, chickens, horses. I mean, when we burn this in the fire pit, I'll try and do it on a day, before it gets too dark out, because the horses next door, they will walk right up to the fence line where the fire pit is, and they'll, put their necks over and say hi. So that's seeing chickens is not, but I've just never seen that many of them free ranging and in the front yard. It was pretty cool, actually. But yeah, we thought about it, but it's the nighttime that you have to worry about when their natural predators come out. I mean, my husband would do a badass coop, but I don't know. My husband already says we live in a petting zoo. So now we're down to 1 dog and 3 cats. We had 2 dogs and 3 cats. And, he's like, this is a petting zoo. He's like, why the hell does anybody have this many animals in the house? And I'm like, this is usually after the dog has gone and, lifted his leg on my husband's briefcase because he smells another dog on it. Yeah, that's usually the time when he says something like that. Or, when one of the cats decides to just, grab onto some piece of furniture, and that's pretty rare, but if they do it, they'll do it right in front of him. And yes, that's when we get what the hell does anybody have this many pets in the house for? I'm like, listen, just reconcile yourself to it. What? Hey, Zoots in the boot. Listen, the other thing we need to crowdsource is a way to get me through the roll call in less than an hour. Hi, Selena HM. How are you? Hi, France. I am doing very well. I hope you are too. Hey, Ogden. Chris. All right. We're there. I lied. Running. I'm just looking to see if there's any. Bathtub Mary, how are you? That was for you, girl. I was Oh, Queen Bee, hey. I was getting ready to throw in the towel. Oh, I love that. Don't make me cry. Listen, don't you try and ruin my reputation as the most ruthless bitch up in this place. With, oh my God, that's amazing. I love that. Plus, I work damn hard on these eyelashes, and I'm not interested in losing one, okay? That is so whoever you were, thank you so much. Everyone who hates Betty's guts appreciates it. But, when I don't mean that in the literal sense. It just, for dramatic effect, it has. Speaking of dramatic effect, oh my God, my damn fan even matches my outfit. That is so cool. I love that. That's amazing. Yay. And I seriously want you to consider the thing we talked about. when I read I'm talking to Queen Bee real quick here. When I read your reply saying that, you really don't like, it wouldn't be realistic to do what you thought I was saying. And after I read it, I started laughing and I'm like, damn girl, everybody knows you don't even know how to like, tech is not your thing. Trust me, it's not mine either. Not at all. And at least you have a tech support person on, standby typically. Mine is, usually not here. Oh, okay. Did I get everybody? I said hi to Daisy Jones, right? Did I? No, I didn't. Okay, I got everybody. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program that, this is why I only get a paragraph per 3 hour. I've pretty much reconciled myself to the fact that y'all are not actually here for my brilliant legal, much like you should not go to Betty for brilliant legal analysis. You're not here for my brilliant legal analysis on this matter. You're just here for me to make you laugh as I do when I read this. Because truly, I even stopped reading it ahead of time because I was like, yeah, I'm just wasting more time. I'm just going to do the cold read. Okay, I put a little star to denote where we left off last time. Like, I'm getting a bed sore from this chair, for Christ's sake. Am I going to have to get a plastic gamer chair? Why do people sit in those chairs? That's what I need to know. I have a feeling it's for comfort but listen, I've spent a lifetime being uncomfortable in the pursuit of looking good. So I am not about to sit in a plastic gamer chair. I don't give a shit how much better it is for bed sores, live streaming bed sores. If someone can find me one that looks good, well, I mean, I might consider it. And until such time, well, I'll just keep on shifting ass cheeks and standing up when necessary. My rug is supposed to be, and it damn sure better be, because I've been waiting like a month. It's supposed to be here tomorrow. So I will be unveiling that. I have a feeling that I've already told myself the chair is probably not going to match the best, the pink one, but I am not going to I shouldn't even have bought the rug. So I've already given myself a talk. I gave myself a pep talk and said, you will not go to Home Goods and decide that you need to like, oh, well, this doesn't match. And now, nope. I know my old chairs that I used to use will match. But I'm very excited for you guys to see the rug. Okay. Back to the grindstone. Okay. I was going to say we're on what the hell? Oh, they're letters. Okay. Because I'm looking and I was like, are you kidding me? Did she go from numbers to... Okay. All right. So I'll read the sentence before, otherwise it won't make sense. Okay. While Bullhead Betty was live streaming in front of Leilani Simon's home, located in Georgia, with other media. Oops, I need to make a correction here. We need to cross off the word other because you're not media. Okay. I need to get a red Bic pen. I don't think I have a red one over there. Redlining, like when you were in high school and, well, like, Betty's papers must have looked wrong. Betty, you're going to need to have your mother sign this. Oh, Betty, I started my forgery career in high school. With media and other individuals unknown to Bullhorn Betty. Oh, except for in the paragraph before, they must have been known to her because she knew them enough to claim that she knew inside Queen Bee's head what she was thinking, which was, oh, she told her audience that no local people were there until they got there. Of course, in the span of a paragraph, or what passes for a paragraph in Betty's world. In the span of a paragraph, we went from she didn't know. While Bullhorn Betty was live streaming in front of Leilani Simon's home, located in Georgia, with other media and other individuals unknown to Bullhorn Betty, Queen Bee actively encouraged Queen Bee's audience to call the Chatham County Police Department on Bullhorn Betty. Yeah, and as I said yesterday, that is unequivocal bullshit, and I don't have to have been here to know that. Because, well, if she did that, it would certainly be, flying directly in the face of anything I've ever heard her say in the past in regards to situations like that, which is do not be wasting law enforcement's time unless you have a, serious, legit tip, information, concern, citing, blah, blah, blah. Other than that, don't bother them. Chatham County Police Department received over 50 calls from people not even in the state of Georgia. And yes, I would love to know how she knows that. She probably doesn't. This was to intentionally cause conflict with Bullhorn Betty and the local law enforcement personnel. Oh, yes, this is where we left off. That was the point where I said, you, ass clown, you didn't need any help having the Chatham County Police Department think that you were a menace to the entire, I'll just say the state of Georgia, not the country. Not the country, Betty, remember? Betty, remember when you were here and you were doing your hard-hitting journalistic integrity, your journalistic principles require you to do some, hard-hitting research. So as you're sitting in your lawn chair, shoving Big Macs down your face, on your phone, Googling some type of laws that I'm sure you were going to then scream at someone and tell them how stupid they were. When you schooled them on, the law, you might read the law, but your problem is you don't understand the law. Yeah, like that. Yeah, the only problem is your dumbass was looking at apparently laws in the country of Georgia. Yeah, Betty, are you by any chance still considering my suggestion that I think the Gaza Strip could use you right now? I really do. They need all the reporters out there that they can get. Okay. All such calls were unfounded. And how might you know that, ma'am? Did you and the chief, did you bring him I was going to say a dozen donuts and a gallon of coffee, but what you should have brought him was a fucking car. That's what I would have brought if I behaved like you. Yeah. I'd have been like, oh, chief, what's your favorite color? And do you prefer tinted windows? What do you want rims? Talk to me. So yeah, I'm sure when you rolled up to the police department to tell them how we are pro law enforcement, we back the blue, baby. Yeah, we back the blue. As long as they let us intimidate them into doing whatever we want. Oh, and and they listen to me when I say, arrest them. What are you waiting for? Arrest them now. You've got them for this, that, the other, a third. So y'all just had a little powwow. Oh, like when you went to Summer Wells to what's their county called there? I can't even think. Anyway, when she spent, what did she say? We spent 4 hours with law enforcement going over all that we had learned. I promise you, as sure as my ass is sitting in this chair, getting a bed sore, covering this bullshit, the minute you walked out of Hawkins County with your work product of investigation. Oh, ma'am, thank you so very much. Yes. Yeah. We'll be in touch. And by all means, if you ever decide to grace the state of Tennessee with your presence, just call us ahead of time. We'll put a spread out for you. Yeah. We'll go to Einstein and we'll get all kinds of, what kind of bagels you like, Betty? Yeah. The minute you left with all your information, they went like that and said, oh my God in heaven, what is up with those dipshits? I promise you. All such calls were unfounded and caused law enforcement to redirect resources to speak with Bullhorn Betty and others versus looking for the whereabouts of Quentin Simon, a 20-month-old allegedly murdered by his mother, Leilani Simon, and Quentin Simon's whereabouts were unknown at the time. Betty, you need help, like truly. I read something like that and I am flabbergasted. I don't even know what to say. That I'm telling you, I've said it since the minute the first piece of paper was filed. This right here. Well, sometimes they say the eyes are the window to the soul, and for a moment I thought this is a look inside her soul, which she doesn't have one, or if she does, it's quite dark, and we need mag light flashlights to peer in there. No, thank you. I'll go ahead and just go with the information you've already kindly provided us. But I very much believe it's a look inside her mind, and it's a look inside how she truly thinks. Because let me tell you something, despite the fact that this is a joke, okay, despite that, and that there is that, I would say just based on what I've seen, which clearly is not a lot, 75%, and that's just because I'm going to, out of a complete abundance of caution, I'll say 75% of this is irrelevant, immaterial, not actionable, and what the fuck is it doing in here? But despite that, I promise you, this very much has taken up a lot of her time. And that statement right there, she is so backwards in her thought process than the rest of us are, that I think she believes that. I do. I think she actually believes that Hadley and all the other cops that had to come out there and, the resources, I think she truly does believe it has nothing to do with her. What? Except, Betty, here's where the problem comes in. Not that anybody believes that Queen Bee or any of her subs or friends or even people who don't like her. Nobody with rational thought process believes that she or anyone adjacent was the cause of what you just stated, but for you and others like you. Even if someone had reached out and touched someone, do y'all remember that from back in the day when we had landlines? Hey, Annie, how are you? See, I wasn't around during this period of time. Marie Duffy, are the fireworks for me? Marie Duffy is so sweet. I think Marie, there's a couple ladies from Ireland that listen, and I think Maria is the one I'm thinking of. One of them is so sweet, and whenever she leaves a comment, I don't believe it for 1 minute, but I gladly take it. And of course I tell my husband. And the comment always says, Lisa, you are a legend in Belfast. I am part Irish too, so thank you. Those are my people, those are my roots. And I do love a good potato. Ooh, I'm a French fry. If I'm on death row, French fries is part of my last meal. And damn it, do me a favor and make sure they're crispy. And don't put any of that egg wash coating on. I want the old school McDonald's when they cooked them in freaking lard. Damn, McDonald's had the best fries when they were still McDonald's fries, like when I was young, very young. I just like that behavior. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that was the only reason I exited the building. But I just, that whole Quentin Simon thing, I saw it when it started. And I did see several things, but not only did I blow my whole channel up, I did not watch YouTube for a few months. And then, it beckoned me, it started calling to me because clearly I don't learn. But yes, I mean, I don't have to have seen it. I have since seen all the highlights. But even if I hadn't, just the very fact that she would put those, that she would memorialize that statement. I mean, I don't think she gets it. Like, she does truly, she cannot grasp that she looks like a middle school. I think I gave her too much credit when I said high school. She's like a child. I think Betty has arrested development as a very early adolescent. Hey, Mitt Mama, how are you? And bear in mind, oh no, she did explain who. Okay. I was going to say, up to this point, though, she had not explained who Quentin Simon was, and he was mentioned prior. Queen Bee received monetary and other compensation for this conduct, including inflated view at Bullhorn Betty's expense and detriment. Kind of like you were, I mean, to me, it's ill-gotten gains, at least morally, obviously not illegal, but you were unjustly enriched by overtaking a neighborhood and just wreaking havoc for everyone who lived within the sound of your bullhorn. And you, I heard it with my own ears, you encouraged people, come on down, come meet Bullhorn Betty. Wow, is all I can say. I mean, if I walk to the Walgreens not walked there, but if I walked into the Walgreens wearing this, who, unlike you, I could actually pass for someone who might, sign an autograph, but I'm not. I'm just trying to make a point. Like, I heard her telling people, come meet Bullhorn Betty. Like, she is a celebrity. Yeah. I might be a legend in Belfast, but Betty is a legend only in her mind. Queen Bee. Oh, and Betty, you also, ma'am, and I'm sure you're going to be able to prove this, right? With all the analytics that you're apparently privy to in Queen Bee's YouTube studio. I mean, do you think that taking a screenshot of a thumbnail from one day and then a thumbnail from a previous day and then maybe another day, do you actually think that constitutes a provable pattern? Because I don't know if you have not received the memo yet, but we all have increased views. And if you take, if you're monetized, the cash register rings louder when things that everybody are very interested in are going on. So what is your point? Because says the woman who, she is saying this to someone who did nothing but what every one of us who are creators in this housing project we call Krama do. Commentary and opine on current events. You actually are the weirdo who packs her hefty bag suitcase, gets in her car that she's constantly crying about the state of, drives hundreds of miles away to play. Now, which hats were you wearing that day, Betty, when you were down there, when you took that neighborhood over? You were a reporter who is definitely your source for improper grammar, almost non-existent punctuation, and really shoddy usage. Yes, WDUMB. Okay, so Betty was a reporter. What she was also doing, investigating, she was sticking her nose into the neighbors and interviewing, although I guess, well, that could fall under the category of media and investigator. Oh yes, the investigator that couldn't manage to find the police department. Wasn't that what it was? Didn't she go to the wrong place? Whoa, Betty. Like, I don't understand these things. I don't. Hey Johnson, we meet again. Are y'all made up? I need to, girl, I need to write myself a message to do those little space buns. I saw Savage wearing them one time, and I was like, damn, those are so cute. Stand by, please. I'm sorry, I'm old. If I gotta write it down while the notion flies through my ears. Why the hell do I not have a piece of paper? Besides, the 487 pieces in front of me. Here we go. I found a little, oh look, even my sticky notes match. I don't know what I did. I just pulled up. Okay, here's my sticky note. Space buns. Maybe over the weekend. Okay, I'm going to leave those out so I don't forget. Oh, God. Queen Bee has posted that Bullhorn Betty. I almost said Bullhorn Buddy. Doesn't somebody on here have a dog named Buddy? Chris McDonough has a dog named Buddy. Bullhorn Buddy. I'm sure he wouldn't let Buddy play with Betty. Not a good influence, Buddy. I don't recommend it. Queen Bee has posted that Bullhorn Betty will need bail money. Well, I mean, if they do say that history tends to repeat, so you can't blame her for that. And that Bullhorn Betty is going to jail. Please refer back to the previous statement I just made about history repeating itself. They also say the best behavior of future behavior is past behavior. And I'm not even a member of the behavior panel. Oh, but Betty is. Is Betty not? I was reminded that Betty, yes, another career hat that Betty wears is she is a body language analyst. Yeah, just like when my husband asked me the other day, how the hell are those squirrels getting in that bird feeder? My husband loves birds. He likes birds. He likes botany, all that stuff. And we have a squirrel that chewed a hole through our one of the lanais to get to a Home Depot bucket filled with seed. Yeah, and he did. He ate through the plastic on the bucket to get the seed. And he's back. So much in the way that my husband looks out the window and says, how the hell is that squirrel getting in there? Because it's not in a place where he would typically be able to, make his way to. Well, when I say, well, he jumped from that tree over there, and then, he just did like a Hail Mary off that branch and hoped for the best. He just crossed his little squirrel fingers, and apparently it's working out for him. I am a body language expert and an investigator, and I just gave that news report. So yeah, I mean, maybe I'm starting to understand this a little more. Bye, Self-Love. Hey, Wise Angel, how are you? Bullhorn Betty has always researched and followed the laws when covering a case. Well, I mean, I don't think I could take issue with the latter part of that, because yes, I have not seen her add to her mugshot Hall of Fame since she started this career. So I would agree with that part. It's the well, that was the latter. It's the former that I take issue with, the research part. Betty, I personally have seen and heard you declare at least 2 people dead that had not even been found. So save it. You're full of shit. And if that is your version of research, see, Betty works for WDMB, and at WDMB, we are about being first. We don't give a shit about being right, okay? It's about being first. I mean, she wants you to think this is reminiscent of like Woodward and Burns, Watergate. I mean, Queen Bee made an attempt to have Bullhorn Betty arrested despite Bullhorn Betty committing no crime. Just a crime against hair, good taste, all around general manners, modicum of class, the English language, signs, placards. And I'm very curious as to where's the proof. I'm assuming it's going to be in the next sentence, probably. how would Betty? How would you know that she made an attempt to why? It was very obvious, I do believe, to anyone with eyes that you all were basically a thorn in the side paw existence of law enforcement. And I got a funny feeling that let's play Where's Waldo. Do you really think they weren't watching you the entire time? Someone was watching in some capacity, because obviously it was a tinderbox, it was a pressure cooker of idiots. And it when you get kind of like positive and negative electrons, and they get spinning around, and they bond. Y'all, when I talked about not wasting and NaCl, I do believe is the chemical composition of salt as denoted on the periodic table of elements. The number in the corner, I do believe, represents the weight of said atomic particle, or it might be the number of neutrons, electrons, protons. Yeah, so Betty, when all those little things, all those positive, negative, neutrons, electrons, protons, well, when they all get spinning around, and the like tends to bond to the like. I think that's called a covalent bond. I cannot believe that I have actually absorbed well, that probably would have been college, but that's still been a long ass time. I have not thought about any of that shit in decades. But nonetheless, so I do believe that's called a covalent bond, when like-minded moronic assholes like you and all your buddies out there, yeah, when y'all get together, and then oh my God, let me guess, just add, and I'm not saying you, Betty, but I'd lay good money on the odds that there might have been a little bit of alcohol involved out there, or some other type of substances. And what do you get when you take like a bunch of covalently bonded moronic electrons and neutrons? Just add substance, just add alcohol, and woo! You've got a chemical reaction. Ooh, kind of like what is alleged to have. Well, there might have been some other covalent bonding going on down there with some of the parties that shall remain nameless, to protect the. I'm just protecting the privacy of the innocent and the guilty and the never wanted to know. Queen Bee repeatedly referred to Bullhorn Betty as, quote, Strangler Betty, check, Battery Betty, check. I mean, I don't know if she did or not. I'm just saying, yeah. I wonder why that is. Now, come on, Betty, don't be daft, okay? Just don't. I mean, I know you are one of the most obtuse. Oh, obtuse. It's not just an angle. It's a state of being, in your case. I'll be a right angle. I mean, Betty, I do believe that your aforementioned, well, some people think they're terms of endearment, but whatever you want to call them, I think you earned them, because you did have that little ish, it was in the police report that you put your hands around someone's neck. I do believe we still call that strangling. And battery kind of, like a math problem. Are all stranglers batterers? And are all okay, so all stranglers are batterers, but all batterers are not stranglers. So if a batterer and a strangler left the station at 4 o'clock on Tuesday, and the batterer was traveling 200 miles an hour, and the strangler was traveling 175 miles an hour, but was live streaming, chatting, listening to navigation, and looking for a gas station all at the same time, who would arrive on scene first? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the non-grifting dumper. Oh, listen, I get it. I get it. Oh, look there's Mike with his little pumpkins. Hi, Mike. Happy Halloween. We have a nurse and a bear. Nurse bear. Oh, running bear. Okay. Mike, I'm starting to think you're like Beetlejuice. Did you hear me talking about you, Mike? I just said you weren't here yesterday. I think it was Amberly. Somebody was worried about you. They said, where's Mike been? Okay. Got that. Okay, Queen Bee repeatedly referred to Bullhorn Betty as Strangler Betty, Battery Betty, and other defaming statements in an effort to devalue Griffin in the eyes of the public. Betty, it's your record. If that's how you feel, it's your record. You can't, nobody's making it up. So you can't lay that at her doorstep. It's yours. As the people of TikTok were obviously quite anxious to inform all of YouTube of. Devalue Bullhorn Betty in the eyes of the public, redirect subscribers and members from Bullhorn Betty's YouTube channel. Betty, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that I don't think y'all have the same peeps. I don't hang out at Betty's, but I've seen screenshots many times that are sent to me. And quite frankly, I have never seen, besides Mike Stevens, because it's usually something Mike Stevens is saying about me. But besides Mike, while I recognize names, I recognize them as Betty's peeps. They're not anybody I've ever seen, really, for me, almost anywhere I go. So I don't even understand that. I mean, truly, it's like Betty's making it sound like, I'm trying to think of who. And let's not forget, this is a point that hey, Still in Leather, how you doing? This is a point. Oh no, Mike. Oh, sorry. Oh God, is your dentist not good? Because I guess it depends on what you had done. I tell you what, I had to have a crown one time way in the back because of grinding my teeth. It broke it. It made a crack like this, and it was almost, I did not have to have a root canal, but I did have to have something called a crown lengthening because my teeth are small. So they had to cut my gum. They raise your gum line is what they do. So he cut the gum. I had, I think it was either 4 or 6 stitches. He did it with laser. And I'm telling you, I never had not a minute of pain. So I mean, I don't know what you had done, but if it's not something really like, I guess what I'm saying is it could possibly be that the dentist isn't good with the Novocaines. They're not, just because somebody's a dentist doesn't mean that if they don't hit that nerve right the first time, you'll be screwed, no matter how many subsequent times they try to hit it. Oh, so you probably had a lot done. Well, I hope you feel better. Oh, I know Betty's subs are in Dolly's. I'm saying Queen Bees. I don't see much, just since I've been around and seen, I don't see much crossover at all. And I don't think there's, besides you, I don't. Oh God. Oh, that's a lot for one appointment. I get it. Sometimes some people want to just do it all in one shot, but that's a lot to have done. So, and Mike, just because I like you so much, alternate. I think it's Motrin and Tylenol. You alternate them, and for is it 3 to 4 hours? I don't know, but for some reason, that for dental pain, that is a particularly effective cocktail. Redirect subscribers and members from Bullhorn Betty's YouTube channel to Queen Bee's YouTube channel to force Bullhorn Betty off the YouTube platform and cause financial, personal, and reputational harm to Bullhorn Betty. Why? Even if I believed every bit of what she just said, why would I don't understand what, Betty, every single one of us on here is competing with every single other content creator on here. And I'm going to keep going back to the point I have made repeatedly, and that is this. You supposedly have about 50% more subs than she does. So how, I don't get it. Like, Betty, I don't even have 2,000 subs. You supposedly have about 23,000 more than me. Do you think that I would think for 1 second if I said to everybody, hey, if you're a sub to Bullhorn Betty, unsubscribe and come over here. And that's going to do what? I don't even understand what the point is, because it's not like this is a platform of 2, which is almost, it's so disingenuous what she is saying, because she is just, it's like she is trying to make it sound like the only reason that her channel could have suffered this hit in money and did it? I don't even know if it did, because we're not there yet. But I'm assuming with the amount of money that she's asking for, which, by the way, I guarantee you she has not made that figure in one fiscal tax year ever in her life. So that is laughable. And damages, unless it's punitive, but all other damages need to be borne out by an actual evidenced loss. So to make it sound like Mike, please read the room. And because you're not feeling well, I'm going to give you a little bit of latitude. Y'all, let me just do this because Mike's not feeling well. So I'm going to save him the keystrokes. Not that all of you don't already know this. Mike is a Betty super fan. I allow Mike to come over here and go back and forth with everyone in the chat to tell them how much he loves Betty. They respect Betty. Betty's the greatest. She's the smartest. She's the best. She's the nicest. Blah, blah, blah. So now everybody knows we don't have to do this. Like, everybody has gotten the memo, please. Okay. So let's just try and just remember where you are. Okay. And that is one question I would like you to answer, though. I've never gotten that answer, Mike. And that is, how come you don't sit in her chat and do for me what I let you do here for her, despite the fact that I have no use for her and everybody already knows, but I let you do it anyway, because I'm not trying to, like, I'm not your teacher. I'm not your, so I don't understand. That is kind of how she thinks, but I mean, I don't understand why. I mean, if it worked the same both ways. Oh, Chris Crest, I just love that so much. Hey, Audacity. I just love this so much. Hey, Bets, how are you? Like I said, I'll do my part if you do yours. Hey, mother of two boys. That's all I get from you, Mike. That's all I get. Mike Stevens, now come on. If we're going to tell the truth, we need to tell the whole truth, just like I told somebody else the other day. Little Bird sent me a screenshot from a few days ago where you told Betty that she looked hotter in boots than Lisa looks in heels. Mike, that hurts me. It hurts me. It hurts me right here. So I don't think. And Mike, I mean, come on. Are you drinking Betty's Kool-Aid where Lisa's concerned? I mean, you don't need to go over there and, that's the shit that's not important. It's this up here. Like, do you go over there and tell Betty that how smart Lisa is? It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. So yeah, this whole thing is, it's so disingenuous, because even if every single word of what she just alleged was okay, Betty, yep, you're right, that's what happened. Well, how do we account for all these other millions of channels out here that may also very much be repulsed by you and your behavior? Then, people just discuss what they want to discuss, and for the most part, I think like-minded people tend to congregate. Hey, Kashmir, how are you? This conduct has also caused the infliction of emotional distress, as Bullhorn Betty has invested vast amounts of time, effort, and a heavy financial burden to build a creative and successful YouTube channel. Oh, let's just take that apart one sentence at a time. Wow. So that's all it takes to inflict emotional distress is someone using your, hey, Mr. Happy, using your criminal record against you in a little smarty pants kind of way by calling you allegedly Bullhorn Strangler, Battery Betty. Okay, so that is enough for you to file a lawsuit. But you feel that you have the right to sit in front of people's homes, call them baby killers, tell them they've hurt their children or other family members. You have gotten people fired from their jobs. Imagine what that emotional distress must feel like. Do you see why we have a problem with this? Because you are perhaps, I don't know how you do this with a straight face. I truly do not. You are a hypocrite, the likes of which I am only able to draw the conclusion that you have some type of deficit if you cannot understand why I say that. It is like I don't even have the words. I just don't get it. Bullhorn Betty has invested vast amounts of time. What's your hourly fee, Betty? Because we're going to need to know that. We're going to need to see the tax returns that prove this. So, what's your hourly fee? Because vast amounts of time. And here's just something I need to let you in on here. If there's one thing I know very much, it is that one thing that people, unless you are a skilled professional, like a lawyer, like a psychologist, fields, an accountant, perhaps, fields where people do very much bill for their time by the hour. They're not billing, by the job. Okay, so unless you're in one of the aforementioned professions and those types of professions, at one time in my life, I was pretty creative. I always had ideas and things. I was like side hustles and whatnot. And if there's one thing I know from my, years of being self-employed and just various endeavors and things I've done, I know this. I know that one thing that is very difficult to put a value on, even when you have a tangible product, is one's time. It's one of the reasons why take like art and whatever media it happens to be in. If you are not yourself an artist, well, oftentimes it's easy to look at some art in some media and say, what the hell? Why would anybody ever pay blah, blah, for that? So, sorry, Pumpkin, you're not just going to get to say vast amounts of time. What is your time worth? And I'm sorry, but you're going to have to prove that. She hasn't even put, and I guess in her defense, that will come later in discovery. But we need some details. Okay. How do you value your time? Because from where I'm sitting, whatever you think your time is worth, cut it in half, because you get as much wrong as you get right. Kind of like the aforementioned Georgia. Remember when you were, this very subject, when you took that neighborhood over? Yeah. Yeah, it was just like an extended tailgate party. Just waiting for super chats to roll in. Getting it literally, it was a tailgate party that made a mockery of a dead baby. And that's what it did. You could not have disrespected that child's life, short though it was, and memory more. Like, I don't know how you would have been more vile and disgusting and disrespectful. I'd have had more respect if you had been arrested, you disgusting bitch. Because that, at least that would have maybe made me sit back and think, well, you know what? I guess it's not just all in the name of money and views, because clearly she cares enough to get arrested. No. I mean, for Betty to have emotional distress, all it takes is somebody to come in her chat and type one letter at a time. G-R-I-F-T-E. I don't even think he got to R. I wonder how many resources that wasted for the FBI. Can you imagine the poor bastard in the field office, which I believe was Tampa, that got that call ticket generated? Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, she's a YouTube creator, and someone came in her chat and typed grifter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that didn't waste any resources or time or anything. You're a fool. God, you are an utter fool, and you're the only one who doesn't see it. Sorry about your luck, Betty. Enjoy this ride while it lasts. Okay, enjoy it. Ride this rocket right on into the ground, baby, until it blows up in spectacular flames. And I think your rocket's, I think it's starting to pick up speed. I'm seeing people that have never talked about you in the past that, they're not like me. We'll just say maybe things they speak of are much more researched, and not like they're not just doing commentary on some clown. They're digging into a lot of records and things like that. So so you better find a way to quantify your vast periods of time and what that time is worth, Betty. Efforts. Well, Betty, from where I'm sitting, you and I are probably where the effort category goes. Well, I'll give you blow me out of the water in miles per year put on my car, because mine are exactly 0, unless it's to go to the mall to, pick something up that I need to come in here and look fabulous. But I would say my aesthetic appearance and my wardrobe and accessories budget, well, my God, I think I should sue you. I mean, so it's all relative, Betty. And I can quantify my financial layout. In the vein that I'm speaking to her, here's where I would have a problem quantifying. Let's just say, like, Betty wants you to believe she suffered this loss because of the conduct of Queen Bee and her people, her fellow conspirators. Gosh, I'm glad I wasn't around during that time, because I would probably be named as a conspirator. So here's a place where Unlike you, Betty, I actually lose money by being on YouTube. All this, well, I'd be doing that anyway. At least, hair, makeup, all that shit. But, well, no, I don't put lashes on and eyeshadow to go to the grocery store. But so I take time with that. That takes a good between hair and wardrobe and show production. I've got at the very minimum, I've got an hour to an hour and a half on the higher end with show prep every day. I am not monetized, and where I lose money is while I'm doing my show prep. And then when I come in here and I do my show, well, that's time that I am not working at what makes me money. So would you like to pay me for that, please? And I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to quantify that, but it's cost me money. That's kind of like this in my mind. Oh, yes, StreamYard. That's right. I forgot about that. Canva to do the thumbnails. What? Look at that, AMAC. Thank you so much. AMAC's helping me out. Get my damn, not that my husband will let me write them off, but my legitimate deductions. But yeah, I forgot all about that. Hey, Rachel Wolf, how are you? Oh my God, Rosanna Dana. I remember Gilda Radner. Rosanna Dana. Saturday Night Live. God rest her soul. Oh, thank you, Mama Bear. You're so sweet. Okay, carrying on. Betty, just consider me the Judge Judy of your case. I just look better because I'm younger. Heavy financial burden. We're going to need the itemized list of all of that. And of course, we're going to need all the analytics from before, during, and after. And you're probably going to need to get a math person to, make like a pretty flow chart. I'm sure yours is going to look like a roller coaster at the end. Yeah. We need visuals. Everybody loves a good visual aid. Oh God, sorry, my bed's sore. I keep throwing that damn pile of paper and I say I'm not going to do it and then I do it. Ow, it just feels good. Heavy financial burden to build a creative and successful YouTube channel. Really? Where? I must have missed this part. Where's the creative part? Where's the successful part? Creative. If you think that you sitting in your office in a plastic gamer chair is like some kind of creative genius. I know you did incorporate the coffee theme. And yes, okay, American Judge will give you a couple points for that because it is better than that institution green seafoam fucking paint that was so anxiety producing. And you let's see, you get stories from your hours of being deeply entrenched in journalistic research called Google, and you sit in said office and basically parrot either shit you've heard on other people's channels or you do exactly what I'm doing, just, with not nearly as much skill and good looks and IQ points. Sorry about that. So where's the creative part? There, Betty, having no filter, no good sense, no class, and a seeming lack of impulse control and a bullhorn does not constitute creativity. Going in and getting people fired from jobs and calling them killers without even benefit of being arrested yet. Let's not forget that. And of course, that applies to everyone else in the house, whether we know anything about their involvement or not. It's just because they share the atmosphere, airspace with that person. Where is the creative part? Because I must be missing it. You can't even bother, Betty, you need garanimals, okay? You can't even bother to match your top and your bottom. Half the time, you are getting better, I will give you that. But for a very large majority of your YouTube career, you appear in either clothes from the day before, stained t-shirts, pajamas, streaming from your bed. Like, I mean, am I missing something? I think she is interesting to me in the respect that she is very much just, everything about her is just a contradiction. She's a walking contradiction. So here you've got somebody who, all the things I just said, doesn't have enough. I mean, because I'm sorry, she can try and spin it any way she wants. People who have some self-respect and care about others in their lives who don't have YouTube channels, they do not behave as she does. They do not do the things, all the aforementioned things, and I'm leaving plenty out. So in one sense, she appears as I think she wants to appear, which is, oh, I'm such a provocateur that, don't worry, it will not fall down. It's very the elastic is very tight. I'm not getting ready to have a Janet Jackson. It's just, these are making me crazy. So she wants to portray herself as, she's a provocateur, she's a ball buster, bullhorn Betty's coming to town and she doesn't care. She'll say and do what the others won't to get the story, to get the arrest, make the case, all that kind of shit. It's like we're talking about a TV show, for fuck's sake. So she'll do all that, which on its face appears like, if I showed that to my mother, who has no, my mother pretends to have an interest over my YouTube every 4 to 6 weeks. Honey, what is that thing you did? How's that thing going? That's just the way I like it. So she wants you to believe that she's that. But then you start reading something like this, or you start watching her various rants and her rages, and you see how incredibly thin-skinned she is. So would the real Betty please stand up? I mean, I have a, and over on this column, let's not forget, yeah, she's a woman who, despite the fact that she has no children, willingly and seemingly for fun, will go to school board meetings. I have a grown adult child who obviously went to school, and we paid taxes that he didn't go to public schools, but our taxes, much like if she pays them, hers will pay for public education in some part, some allotment of her property tax nut. But I can tell you this, I've never attended a school board meeting in my life, despite the fact that I had a school age child. Because why would I? I got a life. I always have. She loves nothing more than to go get her 3 minutes of fame at the podium, the Manatee County Board of County Commissioners. And don't you know, I'm sure in her mind, she thinks they all love her and think she's great. I promise you, every single time they're getting before the meeting, they all look at each other while they're eating donuts and drinking coffee and go, oh my God, what do you suppose the bitch is going to be whining about today? What's going to be her problem today? And when the meeting's over, I'm sure there's plenty of giggles to go around. And she's the only one who doesn't know it. So you take all that shit, and it's like, how could you be so thin-skinned? Because you will do things that most people have too many give a fucks to be viewed that way. And I'm sure she would say that her actions, her work brings results. Where is the proof that anything she has ever done has bared fruit? And I'm not talking about the time that she went, tromping through a crime scene and left a little of her DNA, Kathleen Moore's case. I'm not talking about when she got people fired. What is all this behavior culminated in, besides self-enrichment and what appear to me to be nothing more than a bunch of low budget vacations paid for by her subs? I don't know why she cannot figure out that nobody's jealous of you. Nobody wants to be you. Why would they? Nobody gives a shit about your channel besides the people that sub to you. I don't care, Betty. I don't care if you're here or gone. My problem with you is the outrageous conduct that you have. And all these fake jobs that you scream at people. You're a poser. You are a poser. And I say that based on my years on this earth, knowing very many professional people, some of which are in the very professions that you claim to be, and you just bear no resemblance to them in any way. So I swear to God, I think if she just ever could get the stones, she is a bull. So Betty, pull your balls out as you just, I mean, I don't know about you, but I have never in my life proudly told someone that I had bigger balls than they did. But if she just said, you know what? I'm not a lawyer. I don't know more than the average bear who knows, slightly. I might know slightly more than the average bear. I mean, I can promise you, I know far more about all the legal things than she does. And I would never It's almost like she thinks there's some kind of a shame in admitting that you don't know everything about everything. And that's why she's got this, like, she's just got a I know this and I know that, and you don't know this and you don't know that. It's because she's wildly fucking inadequate. So she's like, she just, Betty, if you, people who truly have self-confidence, like, you don't care what dumb people think they know. I don't, I truly, I would have no, all my issues with her would, whoop, if she would stop going and thinking that law enforcement owes her any more information or more attention, respect, etc., than any of us. Hey, Seth. That, Betty, I'm trying to help you here. I'm trying to explain to you what it is about you, since you seem so utterly clueless and thin-skinned. So I'm trying to explain to you what it is about you that gets under people's skin so bad, and it is not your big brain. Okay. But if you just said, look, I just like to talk about true crime. I want you guys to come talk about true crime. We might go on a field trip. No, listen, do you know how many channels on here do really cool shit like that? I've seen tons of them. There's one guy, I wish I could remember his name. He's got a channel that he goes on field trips, and his thing is cemeteries. And he goes to cemeteries, and I'm sure he does, much like Betty, he does all the legwork and the hard-hitting research before he gets there. And I'm sure he knows that I'm sure there very much is production involved, but it doesn't look forced. He just looks like an average guy who this is something he enjoys. This is his hobby. He likes to, and listen, I'm a weirdo with shit like that. I love to go. When I went to Savannah, I've been there way before I've been there several times, long before Betty ever put her fat ass there. There were two cemeteries very much on my list that we were going to, and if I had had my way, we'd have gone first. But he picks a cemetery, and I guess I don't know which comes first, the cart, the horse. I don't know if he picks a cemetery and then does like find a grave and finds notable people who are in that cemetery, and many of them that I've seen, they all have very interesting stories behind their deaths, typically. Some of them, their lives and their deaths are not so notable, but it's the best kind of production because it looks like it's just completely spontaneous, off the cuff. I'm sure it's not. There's people who do, all kinds of shit like that. They travel. I'm sure a lot of that is funded by subs. Nobody can, Betty, if every person in this chat wanted to give you their last nickel, I wouldn't understand it. But it would not cause me not 30 seconds of lost sleep. I tend to try and not worry about things that, number one, don't affect my life, and number two, I can't do anything about. And she's portraying all this like she's this, she's got this big channel and she's really successful, and all these other people are just, they're just trying to take her down. She's actually used those words, take her down, like it's a mafia hit. Somebody's watched too much Sopranos. And interestingly enough, it's someone who's got exactly half the subs of her. So I think if you want to just, if I had to make a guess, and this entire case had to just be boiled down to brass tacks, although you don't usually boil tacks, but you know what I'm saying. If I had to make a wild guess, I would say that she was jealous of Queen Bee. Queen Bee was clowning her and had a whole lot of people in there laughing, a lot more people than Betty ever gets. I mean, I don't think Betty's ever seen those kind of numbers unless she had Ryan Upchurch on panel or someone else equally. And I think that her bizarre need for control and dominance and I'm better than you. Now, she doesn't do it in the way that a lot of women do, like, you know, maybe I would say to her. She doesn't do it in that way. She doesn't do it in the, oh, I'm prettier than you. I'm she does it in the I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you. I know more than you. Which you know, you can get away with a lot if you're well spoken. She's not. She's not well spoken. She's not well written. Which just adds on to the shit cake because it's like, what are you talking about? You're a journalist. You can't write a fucking sentence. And that's true. She cannot. I have yet to see her compose a proper, coherent, correct grammar, usage, punctuation. I mean, if you are calling yourself a journalist, sorry, that's the price of admission, whether you're self-taught or not. But I think this all started out of her deep inadequacy and jealousy. And apparently at some point in her life, this has worked for her. This, you know, I'll make noise, I'll scream, I'll get in your face. And I think she's used to people backing down from her. I mean, I've given her more free analysis than she should have been getting from a professional. But it just, you do not have to be a shrink to go, what? How do you, like, you can't take words on the internet, but you're willing to get somebody fired from their job and film it and use it as content. I would find a new YouTube career, buddy. But, you know, you can't, at least not where I'm concerned, you're not going to keep selling this line of shit about how everybody's just, and basically we're all jealous of Betty. We're all jealous of Betty and she's so successful and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, I think she's managed to. And I think, I guess she started on TikTok before she was here. Wherever she started. I know this was not her first stop. Oh, yes, that was Bob. That was Bob saying hello to, probably the Amazon. I think that wherever it was that she first started picking up traction, besides, oh, that's right, I forgot, she's a damn she's a political rainmaker. And I just don't say that for no reason. But I think that, because trust me, Betty's always been Betty. Betty didn't become Betty with the advent of her YouTube channel. Just like I did not become Lisa with the advent of a YouTube channel, except unlike Betty, well, never mind. But she, wherever she started on social media, and for me, it's this. I don't have all the rest. But wherever she started, I think she, for the first time in her life, got a little taste of what she thinks is some kind of power. And, it should be enough for her as it is enough for me. I'm very humbled by the fact that there's even one person who wants to listen to anything I have to say. And as such, I do try and put the effort in. I try to be on time. That's just me anyway, but it's important to me. If I know that there's even 2 people sitting here waiting for me because I said I'm going live at 12 o'clock, well, I do my best, and I can, because I don't have little kids, and I don't have the restrictions of a job, etc. But I think in her mind, she thinks it's owed to her. She demands. See, no matter where she is, whether it's real life or it's on here, in some other social, she's never going to understand that you cannot just demand and bully and bullshit. Well, you can bullshit your way to respect. And I would hope that some people respect me. But I don't ever, I would never ask anything of you that I would give to you. And I think by her behavior, what I get from her is, well, I really don't know jack shit, but I can scream real loud and tell all of you who are not drinking my Kool-Aid, you're just a hater and you're stupid. And listen, my husband always says there's an ass for every seat. And there is. I'm sure there's plenty of people that like her very much. And I am not trying to change their minds. I am pointing out what I know is obvious bullshit when I hear it. And her just iron-fisted need to. What's weird is that there's no humility in her. And if you're just going to look at it on its face, if you put me and her next to each other and you just ask 10 random people, which one of these people right here, just based on what I'm showing you, maybe let them listen to a few minutes of something. Well, which one of these people do you think would respect your time, be grateful for, 5 minutes of your time, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to go out on a limb and, I might not be the pick, but I very much am. So just because I may not look like I have plenty of humility. Listen, I don't come in here like she does, acting like I've fucking reinvented the wheel and I'm saving the world. Nope. I'm just doing what I'm naturally good at doing. I think Betty's keyed into maybe some components of her personality that she's good at. But I think she's entirely trying to implement to make them work for her as an asset. And I think she is doing the exact opposite. She really is. I know it's mind blowing to look at her and listen to her and agree with the fact that she is, I mean, to me, it's equal measure conceit, which for the love of God, I don't know why, and delusion. And I don't know if it's equal parts. I feel like she thinks every person that gets to hear the sound of her voice should genuflect and thank her for it. I truly, I don't think she really believes that deep inside. I think that that's her own Kool-Aid she has drunk. She's gotten this little taste. Because honestly, for most of us, if it's not in your professional capacity of your career, and she didn't have one, not any of the ones she says before coming here. So if you don't get that adulation, the that boys, you know, if you don't get validation from that kind of stuff, well, I think if you do get a little taste of, ooh, look at this. I mean, I don't think she's taking into account how big the internet is. Like there's, and she's just a little teen fish. Well, she might be that big in a pool this big, but she in her own mind, hey, okay, in her own mind, she's got it like, it seems like she's got herself convinced that she's running. Like, I really think she believes this is some kind of fiefdom that she's the boss of. And I don't believe for 1 minute. Oh, I just want to be left alone and talk about true crime. Betty, if that were true, you know what you'd do? You'd come in your office, you'd do what every other douche canoe YouTuber who's ever, you know, done a bunch of grimy shit or one real good grimy thing, and you'd turn your camera on and you'd look and you'd go, well, this is the video I'd hoped I never had to make, and this is going to be really hard. And you say, look, I've made some missteps. I've, you know, I let my ego get a little ahead of my actual resume in my brain. And you know, I did some things in the name of money and building my channel that, you know, in hindsight, probably even Dolly, I have heard, try to, you know, distance himself from that shit show that went on down there. Has anyone heard her with anything she's ever, any of her resume? I've never heard her, not one time have I heard her say, you know, that was misguided. And it's, you know what, it's sad that as a woman her age, do you know how many times I've come in here when I've been wrong about something? What, at least one time it was about her. Something I said that I was informed. But see, when you can't take criticism, that's what happens. When I say something wrong and somebody reaches out to me and says, I'm just, well, voices, if you want to come over here and do mine, I've got a Roomba you can run, you can, you know, stand on it. You can ride it from room to room. That damn thing still doesn't work. Of course, when my sister-in-law comes over, like, oh yeah, it's great. I just feel like, I don't know, when I do something, nobody's expected to know everything. And I don't care how emphatically you say it. if I say something wrong, if I get something factually wrong, you know what? I don't want to look like Betty ever for any reason. I will, and people, let me tell you something. Here's the part. This is what's sad, because this is the part she doesn't get because she's too insecure. Number one, she does not understand just how the capacity for forgiveness that most people have, even shitbags on the internet. A little slice of humble pie, she'd have to eat the whole pie, but a slice of humble pie goes a long ass way with people. And let me tell you, if you think for 1 minute that people respect more when you stand in fucking indignant obstinance that you are right, fuck all you haters. If you think people respect that more than when you make a mistake, no matter how, if it's something that you need to correct, which in Betty's case I'm sure would be nothing, but you would get so much more respect by just saying, I was wrong, I made a mistake. There is no sin in being wrong. I mean, there's bigger consequences, I guess. I mean, I'm going to take your word on that. And yeah, sounds right. Because I don't know. I do not have an explanation for a grown-ass adult who simply cannot ever be like, can take no criticism and cannot be wrong. And yeah, it's just weird. It's weird. And I don't know what it is, but it's sad. I mean, honestly, not that I'm going to lose any sleep over her wretched ass. I'm not. But it's not, Betty. You better, tell you what, I mean, I see it in my own family with like, not like that, but you know, life goes by quick. And of this I know, the chickens always come home to roost. They absolutely always do. Sometimes it takes them a lot longer to get there. They always get there in the end. And we are all held to account for our choices, for our choices. And Queen Bee has publicly acknowledged / declared multiple times on several different dates on multiple live streams. Yeah, that which is encompassed in multiple times. Like, she loves, it's like she thinks the more words she used that are actually just synonyms. Betty, do you remember what synonyms are? It just drives that point home further. No, it doesn't. It's just going to piss off the person that has to read this. On several different dates, on multiple live streams, that Queen Bee, wait a minute, what? Queen Bee has publicly acknowledged multiple times on several different dates on multiple live streams that Queen Bee is targeting Bullhorn Betty and wants Bullhorn Betty off YouTube and Bullhorn Betty's channel terminated. Well, I have personally never heard that, so I am not going to opine on that. And I failed to see, Betty, a lot of us would like to see you. Well, I was going to say a lot of us would like to see you gone, but the reason I hesitated is I don't even want to see her gone. If she would just stop doing the really gross shit, then who cares? She has no bearing on me at all. But there goes that like delusional thoughts. Like she's so powerful. Like she's the only thing standing in the way of Queen Bee and a play button. I mean, give me a break. It is so like, this is fantasy. Queen Bee has conspired with others to target Bullhorn Betty, even though Bullhorn Betty was unaware of Queen Bee's existence, nor had any interaction with Queen Bee prior to this unprovoked harassment. Well, since we can only take your word for that, as far as, I mean, Betty, everybody in the world is at some time, anybody that we ever meet in our lives, well, Betty, at some point, they're unknown to us. So I don't, that's, to me, that's like, Your Honor, assumes, no, not assumes facts, not in evidence. Oh God, what's the objection? It's not redundant. Oh, I can't remember. It'll come to me, maybe. Well, what was the interaction that you had with Queen Bee? Because she said was unaware of Queen Bee's existence, nor had any interaction with Queen Bee prior to this unprovoked harassment. Well, that makes it sound like you did have interact. Well, wait a minute. No, that's my mistake. I mean, yet again, redundant. Betty, once you said you were unaware of her existence, that assumes that you had no interaction. Okay. See what I mean? She just thinks by throwing more words in that it's just, driving the point home. No, it's just more words. Okay. Carrie. Oh, exhibit I. We're coming up on 3 hours. So we're going to do exhibit I. And then if we can finish this page, I'll be happy with that. Oh, well, apparently I was not a fan of exhibit I because I said all opinion, not actionable. So what do we have? A screenshot. And remember, oh, okay, I do see the URL. Never mind. This is Queen Bee. It says LMAO. Look out now, y'all. Coffee Club got canceled. That's a shame, but there's always next time. Going live. See you soon. And then there's a screenshot that says you're about as pleasant as an itchy butthole. What does she think this proves? This is a joke. And Your Honor, it's just a statement of fact. Coffee Club got canceled. I don't see any place where she says, and I made it happen. I don't even see any place where if you knew none of these parties and I said, read that sentence, tell me if you can infer anything from that sentence. I would just leave it there. I don't imagine anybody would say, oh, yes, I think that this person, that someone was the cause of the Coffee Club being canceled. And this is like a ha-ha. Or like a, fuck you. What can I say, Betty? You bring it out in people. Next page. Screenshot. Queen Bee, I guess it's a community post. It says, yes, at the most hated troll. Check this video out that our girl Deets on the Streets posted. And then it's hard to see, but it's Betty with her mouth open, screaming her ass off. And it says blank screen invades the hive. Is Betty a little triggered by the word GRIFTER? And that's Deets on the Streets, okay? Who's, widely thought of as one of the nicest, most normal people on this platform. So congratulations, Deets on the Streets. You have made what I think is your first appearance in Bullhorn Betty's lawsuit. And if it's not your first appearance and I missed it, I'm sorry. Hey, Hippie, how are you? Crazy nurse, my iPad is not lasting anywhere near as long as it used to. And it's not that old. It might be 3 years old. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on my Christmas list. My husband always is kind enough to ask. Usually he just gives me some Benjamins in an envelope, but if I can't actually come up with something I want, but I think it's time for a new one. And even my keyboard, I have one of the, I have the keyboard that's the cover, but I don't have the really like badass one that swivels and all that. And it's almost makes it look like a monitor. Mine's the, it has the little like TP thing on it that makes almost like a tent the way it stands, the keyboard. It's the craziest thing. I can get like maybe 4 sentences, like if I'm doing an email, I can get about 4 sentences. And then all of a sudden it completely stalls and I have to wait. Sometimes I got to wait a couple minutes and it'll start doing, letter almost like that. GRIN. Not quite that slow, but it's, and I've like, cleaned off the contact, the magnet contact where it meets the iPad. I've tried all kinds of shit. And I just think it's the iPad. Oh, now we have another screenshot. Oh my God. What, Betty? Go check out Tragedy Pimps Exposed. She does an amazing job on her videos and premieres. Screenshot. Very scary picture of Betty that says live preview reviewing BHB and her hot mess. Also hear from some smart people who are, and that we've seen that title repeat several times through here, but oh yeah, Betty. Now, well, Betty, I can understand why, that's not a screenshot I would have included. And for what? For absolutely what? That was the most innocuous nothing. Like, so let me get this straight. Queen Bee has committed she's violated a civil tort. Tortious interference with business practices by posting a screenshot of another creator's video. Oh God, Hippie, doing this on the phone, oh, Truth Seeker, I'm getting there. Actually, this headband is it's not tight at all. It's pretty amazing. Usually they start to pinch really hard back here, but this one isn't bad. Oh, that was it. All right, we're almost done. Where did that come from? Oh, okay, that's the next page. Whoops. Okay, let's see. We were on. Okay, we just did Exhibit I. On or about March 2023, Bullhorn Betty became aware of Queen Bee making defamatory videos about Bullhorn Betty. And Bullhorn Betty was mortified when Bullhorn Betty reviewed the content on Queen Bee's YouTube channel. Well, bitch, I'm mortified by the content on your YouTube channel. So see how that works? That's what we call an opinion. Bullhorn Betty was left humiliated and helpless. My God, this is a fucking Hallmark card. A Lifetime movie. Oh, Bullhorn Betty was left humiliated and helpless. Imagine how the woman from Ashley Furniture felt when you and, Tits McGee got her fired from her job. because you're such a wretched bitch that that's just a Tuesday afternoon of fun for you. Because that's how you get your kicks, by lording your non existent power over people that, I mean, I'm sure that that woman probably would have, if she'd known the outcome, I wonder if she would have probably just gone with her base instinct, which was to jump over that counter, grab you by that busted off, melted hair, and tell you about yourself. Yeah, that might have been her animal instinct. Oh, well, you've had a few of those, so you know about that. So my goodness, it's amazing to hear that. Oh, and how about being mortified and helpless when you've got a whole group of ass clowns standing in front of your job, resulting in you losing your job. Or calling everyone inside the residence, only one of whom has actually been charged with. Hey, Sofa King. Did I? Oh, Corinne, I'm sure I do. Yeah. It's kind of one of those situations where it's like, well, if I had it all to do over again, one of those. It's kind of one of these. What is that they say about the horse has already left the barn? And I don't just mean with that, but you are correct. Yeah, I imagine people standing in front of your house and calling you a baby killer would leave you humiliated and helpless as well. Bullhorn Betty tried everything to get this conduct to stop. But the more Bullhorn Betty tried to stop this conduct, the worse the conduct got. Queen Bee, I hope you know that it went on your permanent record, okay? And it's always going to be there to tell the world that Betty put, well, you lost stars a couple days, okay? On your otherwise, stellar sticker star record. Bullhorn Betty publicly threatened legal action. Well, you do that like almost every time you go live. So was it supposed to be notable for some reason? I mean, when that's your go-to and what you're known for, I mean, it would kind of be like me saying, listen, bitch, every time you file another piece of paper, I'm going to get in this chair and I'm going to throw the dictionary at you while looking like this. And I mean, would it be more notable if you know what I mean? I'm just trying to make a little comparison. Bullhorn Betty publicly threatened legal action, and Queen Bee mocked Bullhorn Betty and continued making defaming content day after day for hours on end. Well, that is kind of her thing. She's the hybrid of Oprah and the Dalai Lama. And, she can't help it that everybody wants to, jump into the Hollywood squares. And, not everybody gets to be Richard Dawson in the middle. Okay. So sometimes it makes things take a little longer to get to the subject matter at hand. I mean, listen, Betty, just because she doesn't have a media investigative journalistic empire to tend to like you do, you can only do your 2 to 3 hour live streams. It's, you can't, what is that Betty likes to say? Betty, don't paint with such a broad brush. And for God's sake, whatever you do, don't put a brush in that hair. Boulevard Betty was living in a nightmare. If you were as literate as you are dramatic, oh girl, you could leave this, you could put the YouTube down, you could go to seek your fortune like, oh, I don't know, Levi Strauss and so many others that, head west, young man, to the California gold rush. My God, Betty, Hollywood is the land of dreams. And, listen, if you decide to, shop around a pilot for your poorly spoken, seemingly uneducated investigation, true crime solving series, well, for God's sake, hit me up, girl, because I would like to help you pack your bags and, get on the way to your making all your dreams come true. And if you put those atrocious hair extensions in, it is not, well, one problem at a time. Betty. But yeah, if your if your vocabulary and your literary skills were as if they were commensurate with your drama quotient, oh goodness, Betty, you could be writing screenplays, you could be starring and writing TV pilots instead of just trying to star in one. Can you imagine that? How that would have gone down? She'd have been telling everybody on the set everything they were doing wrong and why they're stupid, and she knows how to do it better. Yes, Petty Pebbles, I agree. The grammar, the spelling, the misuse of words, that is atrocious. Well, her hair was atrocious too, but I could deal with the hair much better if her English language skills were not equally atrocious. And, if she didn't call herself a journalist, I would not feel the need to point it out to her so often. But that's the price of admission to have a career in journalism. You've got to journalism. Betty is a journalist for maybe the 6th grade student body newsletter that comes out once a semester. They wouldn't have her on the yearbook committee, so they threw that as a bone. Like, look, if you will please just agree to not sue us, you can be the editor of the newsletter. Finally, in April 2023, Boulevard Betty had enough and sent a cease and desist letter to Queen Bee, but to no avail. The outrageous and egregious behavior, Betty, those are synonyms. One would have sufficed. Continued to escalate. How about continued to escalate? I know you think for dramatic effect, you need to say continued and continued to escalate. You do not. Oh, listen, Mama Bear, I'm just glad it happened. Whatever it was, I'm glad. Oh, trust me. I think Betty greatly underestimates the collective scorn. I call her bull scorn Betty because, or bull scorn Hetty, or, trust me, if I really thought about it. Okay, that's going to take us, I'm going to there's one sentence left on this page, but rather than start that and then just end on the next page, I circled it. I put a star. We're putting a pin in this. And let's see, I'm going to put those back down here. Okay, let me look at my calendar really quick before I exit the building, before I exit stage left. What am I looking for? Oh, I guess I'll put it there. Okay, let's see. Today is the 31st. Tomorrow I have to go to the doctor, and okay, it's possible that I'll come in tomorrow. I'm thinking probably not, because I really should do some, my organizing girlfriend is coming over on Thursday. I really need to do some preemptive like piles. I'm going to make big piles of things. So I mean, never say never, but it's unlikely. My appointment is early. It's at 9:30, 10:30. I doubt it. I've got too much I need to get done. And Thursday's out, so I'm thinking that we will not, if we see each other before Friday, it'll just be out on the streets somewhere. Okay. So yeah, I'm thinking Friday will be when we shall convene again, unless, you never know. I could come in here tomorrow, but I doubt it. I have to find a way to make better headway on this. Headpiece. I wonder if I should go through it again and get a little more discretionary with, oh God, I don't know. I'm fried. My brain is like, it's too much talking about her. All right, you guys. Happy Halloween, everybody. And I hope if you have little ones, or grandkids, or even if you just live in a neighborhood with lots of kids, that's my favorite part. There's where we go to my sister-in-law's. She lives in a really big neighborhood, and it's one of those neighborhoods where not only are there a ton of kids, it's just one of those places where people bring their kids to go trick or treat there. And she is known for her, like, all the neighbors, like, she buys full-size candy bars for kids, and all the neighbors come, and it's all a big spread of food is put out, and everybody just wanders in and out and gets drinks, gets dinner. Most of the family comes. It's always fun. And oh my God, the kids, that's the best part, of seeing all the kids. So I am looking forward to that. So I hope that you guys will enjoy your Halloween. Be safe. And I'll see you guys on, let's just say, Friday. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you hanging out for me. Thank you, mods. Oh my God. Look at that. Oh God almighty. Like, hi kids. Hi, I'm Leprosy Barbie. Although leprosy doesn't look like that. And I think we've cured it. Crazy Nurse, we don't still have leprosy, do we? I have tan leprosy right now. All right, kids, be safe. Thank you, mods. I appreciate you. And I'll see you guys Friday. Bye.
Father, you should know I've been going solo. Want my love, baby, earn it. Yeah, dancing on my own. See if you can follow. Got me feeling alive. Watch me go, lost in joys that's real. All I feel, freak my size, every time it's real, real, real. what I want. I do what I want. I do what I want. I do what I want. Hear me now. Watch me go. Lose control. This will all feel. Take my time. Every time. I do what I want. I do what I want.
Good morning. What's new, Pussycat?